You said over there, remember me, don't you? I see you at the football game, Larry Lynch, I was just having to go to while I wanted to go back. So I worked down the office for 40 years and I retired on my knee surgery. So I see you come down there and off the game when you come to the first office.
Yeah. How you doing?
Put another one alive, man. Retired from Honda, now she treats me like a Honda employee.
There you go.
We'll see
At
y'all.
least you got a job, right?
Take it easy, Big Jim.
You too, buddy.
All right.
Thanks for stepping in.
Yes, sir.
Yep, crap happens to me all the
Same
time.
here. Same here. I found myself blanking down on names right now, too.
And I can't remember none. When Laura was alive and we used to go to Walmart, it never failed. Somebody would come up and, listen to Eurythmics on the radio. Laura would say, well, who is that? And I'm like, hell, I don't know. But it happened all the time. It still happens. But most people know that I'm with this now, not the other.
After 38 years of doing this, I've got so many names floating around in my brain now.
It all runs together at that point.
Yeah, it's like, sometimes I'll go write something, I swear it's like you pull a slot machine and the first name comes up with the last name.
Right.
And remember Jason Johnson used to be Alexandria's basketball coach?
Yep.
One night, and I've been knowing him for years, but one night when I was under deadline duress, I covered a game there. I had like 2 or 3 balls in the air, and I was trying to get a lot done in a short period of time. And I wrote Jason Jennings. And it got in the paper that way, and I saw it the next morning, and I was just mortified. And the only thing I could think of was I once covered a basketball player named Jack Jennings. And
You combine
the JJ thing got me.
Right.
I don't know what it was.
Well, I'll tell you, man, people are just, they're freaking crazy about some of this kind of stuff. We post the scores that Ron sends out every Friday night.
Right.
And inevitably, something's wrong,
Yeah.
and 5 people have to point it out. I'm like, look, you don't like it? Don't read it.
So I'm in the Alabama Sports Writers Association, and we compile our own scores. Everybody sends scores in from their area every Friday night. And then Ada Stacy Mine is comb and straight every.
I don't have any to comb.
That's what I mean. Same here. Is my thing on? Yeah, it's on.
Is it loud enough? We have been adjusting them today. We had to fix some cables. Hello, hello.
Oh yeah,
Hello,
you're
hello.
good.
Yeah, that's good.
So like the Three Stooges. Hello, hello, hello.
Picture on the Jake, we don't have a picture on the TV. We got the second screen. Hit that green button up above the gray boxes in the middle.
There is no green button.
Does it say full screen up there?
Yeah.
Hit that. There you go.
There we go.
Then you might as well go ahead and turn the recorder on.
Were they able to hook up to the TV like you were asking about last week?
And a good Tuesday evening, and welcome in to Top of the River here in Anniston. It is the FNN Tuesday night high school football coaches show, and got a little different twist for you tonight. We're going to take a mid-season look at things with some local media personalities besides us. And we also have White Plains coming in tonight. They have our Player of the Week, Crew Martin, and we get to talk to Clint Smith for the first time this season since he's moved from Jacksonville to White Plains, and see a little bit about his thoughts on where the Wildcats are at this point of the year. They're 2-3, picked up a big win this past Friday night at Horseshoe Bend. Of course, Jim Jacobs here. To my right, Joe Medley from EA Sports Today. He's our regular media personality.
I've been called weird more than I've been called regular, but I'll take regular.
And, of course, to my left, the outstanding voice of the game of the week, James Hardy from Lincoln, Alabama.
That's right.
Yeah, got him moved over here and everything. All right, so let's get into it, guys. Where'd you wind up this past Friday?
This past Friday, I went to see Pleasant Valley.
That's right.
They played Woodland and looked really good. Put up 54 points, and amazingly, they lost Jaden Sparks at Pisgah to an ACL, but apparently they think he's going to be able to come back this season. Coach Nick said he ran a 4.8 even with a brace on.
Oh wow!
And so he's going to try to do what he can for the team in his senior year.
And that's outstanding. And it's been. Can we say this has been the best year in Pleasant Valley football history yet? It's close.
It has a chance to be numerically, but I think you might be able to argue it could be their best team.
And, of course, Friday night we had one of our nicer environments to do a game in for the first time. Was we trekked over to St. Clair County to the big town of Odenville to watch the St. Clair County Saints take on the Shelby County Wildcats. And, James, I don't know about you, but I left fairly impressed with St. Clair County. I think they've got some key pieces that could, bode well for them during the playoffs, assuming that they manage to get in, and I think they will.
Well, you mentioned the playoffs for them. This will be a dress rehearsal for them, just like they were in especially a second or third round game in the postseason for this week against Leeds. And if they can get their stars the ball, which, of course, that's what they try to do on the offensive side of the ball, get it to Douthard and Travell Jones and some of their other speedsters on the outside. If they're able to do that against Leeds on Friday, they might have themselves a chance for a signature win for their program.
I thought it was very impressive the way that Coach Robinson had the offense set up. I mean, it was throw it over here, then throw it over here, and, you got Dothard out there. If he catches it and he's got a hole, he's gone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a reason why we brought him here when he scored 4 touchdowns against Montgomery Catholic in their second game of the season. But something that Coach Tyler Robinson mentioned to me a couple of times, one early in the week this past week, and then last year was just how their atmosphere was, how the Odenville community comes in to support their football program on game days. And I tell you, I left coming out of Odenville this week, Jim, very impressed, though, with just how excellent their game day atmosphere is.
Yeah, it was. Well, of course, it was homecoming, and that's always a big deal. But, I mean, it was the band was good. I mean, it was just a great night for high school football, and certainly very enjoyable, to take your first trip over there as we did for the game of the week.
I mean, you could feel it. You could feel just the electricity of it. I mean, certainly homecoming adds to that as far as getting some of the alumni and the rest of the community over on a Friday night. But as far as just the overall game atmosphere, the electricity we felt, and it also helps that the team is being even more and more competitive as they get further into Coach Robinson's tenure. But just the overall atmosphere, I thought, was an A+.
Coach Robinson is he looks incredibly young. But in doing the research for the game, Joe, he's got every receiving record that there is at Huntington College. I mean, the guy could play receiver. And you can kind of see it when when you know that and you watch him play, you can kind of see that's his baby.
And I tell you what, also, and you rightfully point out as far as just the quality and how well coached the receivers are, but you look at how poised Landon Smith played.
Yep.
As far as making good decisions, not getting affected by whenever Shelby County was able to get some pressure on him. Smith poised against the oncoming rush, but also just how he was able to get the ball to the open receivers and also get it quickly to some of those big playmakers on the outside.
Well, of course, it was a great Friday night this past week, and we've got another dandy one coming up this Friday as we return to Lot Mosby Memorial Stadium in Anniston. The Cherokee County Warriors are in town. The 3-time defending state runners-up come in to see if they can knock off the Anniston Bulldogs, who are undefeated. Of course, Cherokee County took it on the chin to open the season at Piedmont, and since then they've been rather steady and haven't dropped a game. So, I mean, theoretically, this is the region title game Friday night if Anniston wins. Joe, if they don't win, that sets up Cherokee County and Alexandria as a huge game in 2 weeks, and we'll be there for that one as well.
And we could be into that whole three-way tie mess again.
Yep.
We're having to read through, tiebreaker A, tiebreaker B, tiebreaker C-1.2. That's always fun.
Well, Alexandria's already got a win over Jacksonville, so they're going to pick up their points. Anniston will play them at the end of the season on the 24th, I think, of October. They'll be looking for those points. I'm not sure how Cherokee County is set to pick up some extra points. I know they played Shades Valley and beat them, but they didn't bring a lot to the table because they're not winning much.
Well, they do have also that 25-0 win over Arab, but
Yep.
as far as the other non-region opponents, other than that, it was that 24-8 loss they had to open the season at Piedmont.
It could get real interesting in a hurry. You don't want to miss football the next 2 or 3 weeks. Of course, we mentioned Leeds and St. Clair County this Friday. If St. Clair County can pick up that win, they're likely playing Jacksonville at the end of the season on, I believe, the 24th, if I'm not mistaken. And that'll be for second place in the region.
Could very well be. So
Yep.
a lot of key games coming up this week.
All right, well, let's put the slate up, Jake, and tell everybody who's on the show with us tonight. And there you see it right there. On the left, Coach Michael Short from the High School Alabama Scoreboard Show is here with us. And, of course, he makes appearances all over the place during the season. He does radio. I mean, he's everywhere. Chandler Tyree from the Fifth Quarter Scoreboard Show, also a former coach, will join us. He'll be here. And then, of course, we've got the folks from White Plains coming in, Coach Clint Smith, and also our Player of the Week, which is one of the coolest names I think we've had, Crew Martin. Now, that's a football name.
And a football pedigree as well. His dad used to be the coach at Lincoln, Chad. A sports pedigree. His older sisters were athletes there at White Plains, and Callan and Cooper, and he is following in the footsteps.
When I remember Callan. I think she played. I know she played softball.
And
I know
basketball.
that,
Softball
and she
and
played
basketball
too. And so he's her brother. Is that the
Yes.
deal? Okay. I wasn't quite sure. I had saw some Facebook stuff and wasn't quite sure what the relationship was there. I knew they were kin to one another, but I wasn't really sure how.
There's Chad right there.
Yep, there's Chad right there. All right, well, we're going to come right back after a break, and we're going to get, let's see, is Amanda in the room? I don't think so, not yet. She is the night manager, or at least the manager of Top of the River when we're here each and every week, and we're going to do a little segment with her, and then we're going to get Coach Short in here and really deep dive into the season. This guy knows it all. I mean, he's got a pulse on all of the stuff around here. He knows more than you do.
I readily acknowledge that. In fact, I would recommend him as an intel source.
Yeah, he is top of the shelf stuff for sure. All right, we'll grab the break, and the show continues when we come back to Top of the River here on the Friday Night Network.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
And welcome back to Top of the River here in Anniston, the catfish capital of East Alabama, as I like to call it. And I think I'm taking some home with me tonight. What'd you have?
Shrimp.
You ate shrimp tonight?
I love the shrimp, too. This could also be the shrimp capital.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's the seafood capital for sure.
It is.
You like it too, don't you?
Yeah, there's not one I hadn't eaten at. I tried to make sure I see every one of them in the state.
Folks, the man needs no introduction, but he's Coach Michael Short, and he'll always be Coach Short to me.
That's the only other name I know. Well, I've heard a few other ones, but we can't say those on the air.
Yeah. Well, I was looking back at your stuff tonight before we were going to do the show. 21 years at Heflin?
As the head coach, yeah.
Yeah, as the head coach.
Yeah. I was there
What did you do before then?
I was his defense coordinator.
Okay.
And then before that, I was in Albany, Georgia. In the mid-'80s, I was in Albany, Georgia. Albany, Georgia.
The
way they say it, yes.
Okay.
Now, my first defensive coordinator's job was trying to slow down Charlie Ward. I saw a whole different
we know
athlete.
why you're not there anymore.
Yeah. We actually won that game.
For real?
We did. It wasn't. We outscored them. Put it that way. We didn't stop them. We outscored them that night.
Well, how about your buddy Rush picking up? Was it 300?
Yeah, after you take away all the ones he's had taken away from him, yeah he's probably about 315, 320. But he got his 300. Proud for him to have that opportunity to get that back, especially here in the state of Alabama. So that was good for him.
How much compared to coaching do you enjoy what you do now?
Well, what I do now allows me to be around it.
Yeah.
Because I'm somewhere all the time watching. I do some consulting work around and either watching film or helping people out or breaking down film for them, and then getting with them on the weekends and letting them know what to do. And in the off season, breaking down film for people and looking at it that way. But it allows me to be around somewhere. I go somewhere every night. John and them, we have shooters that go to 2 or 3 games a night to get video.
Right.
We do the Judd Edwards game of the week, and I'm there the whole time. And then I have to interview. If I can get in front of Joe first, I get to interview. I think me and him we're together just about every
well,
weekend.
neither one of you beat Shasta.
Well, actually, when I see y'all there, because y'all have a live
Yep.
view, I always make sure that she gets to go first. I said, because y'all are right there. And I
Yep.
said, and I fight for second. Because I have to get back for a live show.
That's right. You have to.
Yes, I have to get back.
So, and I bet sometimes that timetable's tight, isn't it?
Yeah, but the scores come first, and John always starts that, so I really don't have to be back at 10. I never am. Especially depends on how far off I am. Cherokee County and Hokes Bluff can get on out there, especially Cherokee County. I usually can't be anywhere over an hour, and I just won't get back. But he's got plenty of help. Chad Barnett is with us. He's a co-host with me and John, and we have a great staff back there that help us out. So, just enjoying working with John.
Is there anybody that you know of in the state that knows more about high school football than John Holder?
No, that's an easy answer.
He amazes me.
He does me, especially when you start talking about wherever school's at, what street they're on, who's their mascot,
it's like
who
the
was
James
the principal.
Spann of high school football.
Exactly right. That's a great example.
That really is a good point, Jeff.
It is. And then we start, Chad always laughs at us because I can bring in some, and not near what he does, but because a lot of the schools I've been to. So we'll talk about, what, that school down there's by the Tallapoosa River or over in Tuskegee, somewhere. We're naming rivers and little landmarks for people to say, well, that's where they're at. That's where they go. Especially when we start talking about South. We don't talk about it a lot, but as we get closer to the playoffs, we do have some teams in this area that actually will be in the South, like Central Clay, Heflin, Mumford, all those people. So I have to know those people too.
Well, it's funny. I have people ask me from time to time, what's this after the game thing? And I say to them, I say, well, if you remember Mickey and John doing a show on TV on Friday nights called the Pigskin Roundup, this show is probably as close to that as there ever will be. And and honestly, I think with your contributions and having Chad in there every week, you guys have a really solid crew to talk to people on Fridays after football.
I think my only part is I have a relationship with most every coach that comes in there. If I haven't, if it's a younger coach, a new one, I go to their practice and I make sure that they know who I am and I talk to them and I try to learn a little bit about them because I do the interviews, of the coaches' interviews. And some of them can get very deep. Some of them can get very emotional. Anytime that I interview Jeff Smith from Wellborn, I get emotional because my wife was from Wellborn. So that's always an emotional. Todd Ginn, I was real close to his daddy. And I played through every one of them.
Y'all had some hellacious football games.
Oh, man, what are you talking about back with Lou Scales days?
Yeah.
And, I was some of those days.
Yeah, you've been around that long.
Yeah, I have, and played there. So, it was enjoyable to do those interviews, especially with those guys that I'm real close to, and they can be tearjerkers sometimes, and I don't mind that. I'm honest. I'll tell people what I think.
And I've noticed, as I sometimes, I know he has to get back to the office, so I'll just kind of stand off to the side when he's doing his interview after the game and kind of hold my recording device.
Because I'm usually going to ask something that you can use.
But you always also ask questions that a coach would think to ask another coach.
Yeah.
Because you all kind of have that.
I've been there.
That brain.
and I also sometimes wonder, I said, why is he asking that? And that coach does not want to answer that question. He don't want to answer, don't want to go there. They talk about what they do in college. They're making $10 million a year. This other guy's making $50,000 a year, and he's got to go worry about whether that kid's going to get something to eat or not. So, a lot of times I can do that.
There's a big difference.
It is, and I feel like that's my part to the show is the interviews and maybe the inside of why a certain play was that way and what are they looking for next week? Who are they going to play? I mean, that's the hardest thing to keep up. But John knows everybody's schedule in the whole state. I mean, he keeps up with it. He studies it. He starts studying early, and he's put in the hours. So if you put in the hours, good things are going to happen.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are the best at what you do after the game, just like the show says. And, I know a lot of times when we're coming home from, our game, we'll turn you guys on the phone and put it through the car radio. And people may not realize they can do that, but you can.
Oh yeah.
So if you just listening to John Holder.
Look, here's how I cheat. I'll be at a game, and if it's not one of the game that y'all are at, Because a lot of times we pick the same games.
Right.
The big games. And that's what you got to have, the top 10 matchup this week with Cherokee County and
Does
Anniston.
that mean you're going to be in our way at Cherokee County and Anniston?
Y'all just make sure you're moving. Tell Kirby to get out of my way.
Well, I was going to say, you and Kirby seem to always find one another. I'll see the back of a head go by the camera, and I'm like, Coach Short's here.
I would tell him not long ago, I think it was at Piedmont, and I saw a play coming. He was looking around. I said, you better move that camera. They're coming, buddy. And they slid right by him, so he did get out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
He did get out of the way. And, I get to do a lot of Thursday games. 4 Thursday nights in a row I've been somewhere. That makes for a long time because I don't get home to about 4 o'clock on Saturday mornings.
And then you wind up going to do radio. We haven't talked about that much.
Yeah, that's enjoyable, too.
You're doing a thing down in Clay County, right?
Yes.
How often are you there?
I did. One day for sure, sometimes twice. And then if we're doing softball season and stuff like that, I'll go home and come back and help them out doing broadcasting of games. But when you get to sit in there with the people I get to sit with from, 2-time Hall of Famer Jerry Williams, and then Steve Giddens comes in on Thursdays, Rusty Taylor's on Wednesdays, I'm on Tuesdays. But then Mondays and Fridays, on Fridays sometimes Tim Altork from the Randolph Leader comes in, and just because he wants to, he goes in there and speaks to them about that area of football. So, and I get some ideas from them. And by having all these connections, I get a lot of scores real quick because I'm on a bunch of radio broadcasters. I've also got about every stat guy in the Northeast Alabama that'll send me their stats, just like he gets. I just don't need them all. But if I get something that's real big, at some point in time, I try to get it in on the show. It may be like a quarterback last week in Host Bluff. I mean, my God, how many yards he rushed for it? 18 carries, 280-something yards rushing. Unbelievable. Maybe the best athlete and best football player, put it that way, in Etowah County.
Wow. That's saying something because
you've seen him play, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Well, we saw him at Southside early in the season. Right. So
I saw him at Anniston last year, and I was impressed. He was as fast as anything on the field.
He is,
and he's a good kid too.
He is.
That's the other thing is basically all the kids that play for Coach Rob are good kids.
They are.
I think that just comes from him.
He was asking last. John was at I guess Thursday night. He was somewhere. I can't remember now exactly where he was at, and I was at he was at center. He was at center with the game they have at Shades Valley. So we got some easy. We love them Thursday night games because we get an extra video.
Right.
Well, I went to Wadley, and let me tell you something, guys.
One of these things is not like the others.
that 1A school that I watched play both ways is very similar to Coosa being able to play a lot of kids both ways, and they got very similar kids. That's not your typical 1A football team.
Yeah.
Winterboro and them is going to be a good game, a real good game, a great game. But there's one Power 5, there's one Power 4 guy, he's committed to Auburn.
Right.
But Frisco Robinson is not far behind him as far as a DB. He'll be a DB. He's an offensive player with them. And they got a couple linemen. I think they have 4, maybe 5 that can play college football. That's a lot on a 1A football team. And they handled Glenwood pretty good in the second half. They were just more physical than they were. So that was a great game for me just to go down there and see Wadley because they're a little bit out of our range.
Yeah. Right.
But on Thursday night games, I get to pick those people and go see them play, and I enjoy that.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, a lot of great football in our area right now.
It is.
And, I don't know that we have as many teams that will go
deep,
way deep, but I think we've got a good many teams that are going to play.
That's right. And for us, we just hope we need – because we go three deep, we go to the third round. That because when you start getting any farther, you don't have enough content.
Right.
To go that long. So if we can get 3 and get some home games. If not, then I might be doing some traveling to be able to. But we can email stuff back, and John can handle it. But we can get it to them. But we've been fortunate the past couple of years to have some big home games in the playoffs here close by where we can actually get some content, get some video going.
All right, I'm going to throw some teams at you, and you tell me what you think.
I'll do the best I can.
Pell City.
Very much improved, still using a lot of the things that Probst brought in. He brought the guy that's there in. That was his defensive coordinator. They have belief right now in themselves. And this game this week is monstrous for both schools. Both schools.
Agree.
Because they hate each other.
Yes.
and it's a big ball game for – look,
I think it's the
playoff implication.
I think it's the first time, Coach, in a long time that Pell City's going to go into that game thinking they can win.
Yeah, because, they almost pulled it off 2 years ago.
When Rush was there.
Yes, they almost very well and thought they should have. So the positive attitude in their football, in their whole program, administration and everything started changing in, and coaches just kept that going. And what's going to happen at that level, if they can win this ball game Friday night for them, then all of a sudden you start seeing people, don't take this the wrong way, but you start seeing people transferring. If they win and get in the playoffs, they got plenty of places to put people. They got plenty of jobs to give somebody a job. Next thing you know, them people start showing up. How you think Ben Russell got good all of a sudden? I mean, that's just the world we live in. It's kind of like college football.
Yeah,
it's way different. They're not going to be a bunch of undefeated teams no more because everybody's got players.
And they can get players.
Yes, and they can get them. So that's why it's a monstrous game. For their future, not only this year, but for their future on down the road.
Piedmont.
Great football team. What the most impressive thing is Coach Miller's just went in and he put his stamp on it, but he just put his stamp on something that was already good.
Yeah.
And then he put his place. It took him a year to get what he wanted in there. Not that anything was bad, just need what he wants to do. And he's just continued that winning, and the kids still believe that they can win, and the community still thinks they can win. If you ever get hungry, go to a pregame area.
Yes.
Go over there and eat. Joe knows. I mean, they fight to go to those games. I mean, you know.
There was live music out there last time I went.
It was because they had two reunions going on at the same time. That's why the live music was there.
15 team, and there was one other one.
Well, they had 15, but the other ones were just two reunions, and they used that area out there. But, yeah, there's plenty of food. I mean, if you go hungry there, it's your fault. But
this guy knows all this stuff. We're there working. I don't know why you're there.
I started a little later than you do. But the thing about them is they've got their kicking game early in the season wasn't up to par, but it is now. They've gotten better and better at their kicking game. They're not overly sized. They're not going to woo you with their size, but their speed in all positions. And then you got, when you get a Pinto, sometimes you look at Pinto cars and they're not real fast. This one's fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he can change a game because what he does, he says all of a sudden, I
want the ball.
Give me the ball, and they give it to him, and he takes off and scores. And people got him out leveraged. That's not coaching on the other side. He's just faster.
Well, my question is, what happens to them if they run into somebody that can lock him down?
There's not but one, and that'll be in the fourth round.
Okay. Mars Hill.
Mars Hill.
They had to go there last year.
We don't know
yet.
You won't know, because of the bracket.
Well,
can't pick that until they. And I will say this: if they end up playing Westbrook Christian game, it'll be a different game. I'm not saying Westbrook can beat them yet, but they're getting closer to their programs being up to where he has the people.
Yep.
They're getting closer because they've got a kicker. You better make sure nobody's standing in the end zone. He'll kick it over your head.
That quarterback ain't too bad either.
He's not. He's a good player, and he's the kind of player that Steve likes to have.
Yeah.
At running back.
You can see Steve's hands on him.
Yeah, 3 years as a starter.
Oh, yeah. And the thing about it is he's got what he has got that a lot of people don't have. He doesn't have 5 great receivers, but he's got 5 kids that can catch the ball. So he can spread your defense out. And then when that happens, then like the old Hayes days, then the quarterback can take over and run. It's just a matter where he's not big like they were. He always had a fullback, a quarterback. Now he's got a true quarterback. So I'm interested to see how he maneuvers around that over the next couple of years with his quarterbacks not being running back type fullback guys. I mean, the Hayes kids would go over there and play inside linebacker and then go run the ball for him.
Yep.
He don't have that, but he has a guy that's a tough runner.
All right, Moody.
I think they'll represent the North because everybody says, Coach, they've lost 2. I said, look who they lost to.
Yeah.
And look what they did to Oxford. I mean, they still got players. And there again, you don't know from one year to the other. Well, Coach, they lost some last year. I said, yep, they replaced them with 3-4 stars from here or there or wherever. So, yeah, I think they'll be the representative from the North. I do. I don't think 5A South is as tough as it was.
Is that Viger, you think?
I have seen Viger on film, and they're beatable. Put it that way.
All right.
Because the game that Coosa played, against Blunt the other night, they barely got by Blunt. That answer should be your answer. They barely got by Blunt. So Viger's a player. Central Clay getting their quarterback back. That's going to make a big difference.
Yep.
And now it allows them to have 3 different types of offenses they can run because they've been doing it for 5 weeks.
That can bring me to my next one. Clay Central. Is he going to slip in there and surprise everybody again?
Well, y'all might call it surprise. I just laugh at him when he says, I'm slow, we ain't got nothing. I think I'm listening to Larry again over there. I thought I was bad, but he's worse. No, they've done a great job coaching, especially on the defensive side, and to get them through what they've done with the quarterback being out. But he also has the advantage of being in a region that's not the toughest region around. That's why his non-region games had to be better. I mean, he knew what was happening when he went to Ben Russell. I mean, that's not Ben Russell. It's Montgomery Catholic, too.
Yep.
Is all it became.
Juicy's got it going.
Yeah, he does. And I'm just saying that's not something he has to go through this time. So he's not as fast as he was, but he has 2 fast players. Usually Danny's got a bunch of fast players. When his quarterback gets healthy enough to go over and help him on defense in certain situations against maybe somebody that may throw the ball a lot, then, I think they got a chance. People said, well, they got to meet Moody. I said, well, if they meet Moody, you know where's that? At Protective Stadium. Because they're in the South. Moody's in the North.
That's right.
So that's what that would be. That wouldn't surprise me.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Their offensive line, it gives me more. I mean, I'm going to cover it anyway. I was looking for that. I sent out for my all-access pass today. Don't ask how I'm getting one of them. It better show up in the mail. I know that.
You.
But, Clay Central and Moody, I think that could happen.
Jacksonville.
I was that's a whole region hard to figure out.
Yep.
Because I watched them, and I was there the night they played Alexandria and lost half the team. And we're not talking about bum injuries. We're talking about injuries to finish you off, season-ending injuries. And they did a great job to come back and beat Leeds. That shocked me. But then I got shocked again with Corner. So that's going to be my question is when I see Leeds go play Moody, that'll give me more of an answer. Now, we're at the halfway point, and I think Moody's the top in 5A in the North.
Yeah.
I think they are. That Scottsboro's not going to play. No, that's not going to happen.
Have you seen St. Clair County?
Yep.
They're
getting better and better.
That quarterback and those receivers.
Yes.
Douthard is.
He can. I just don't think enough. Do they play enough people that are good enough up front to put pressure on him? There's some teams out there that can put pressure on him. And once they do, then those easy throws to those great receivers are a little bit harder.
Yeah.
He's not a Simpson from Alabama. He's not that. But he is a good quarterback. And that coach has done a good job. Their offense is hard to cover. It's hard what they do makes it difficult. Your whole defense has to be on to play with them. There's no doubt.
All right, you get to ask him something.
Where are you going Friday night, Joe?
Where I am. Well, same place your mullet will be.
I'll meet you. Okay. You get me a Diet Mountain Dew. What do you want? And I'll bring it to you. We'll just swap.
Y'all hang out
I'll bring you something.
around
The press box always has food. I'll bring you something down.
I got you. Okay.
But last week when Michael Easley was here, we got into a discussion about the coming reclassification. Yep. And he had some interesting insights on that, and I'm just wondering what you're hearing. It seems like from his perspective, there's going to be a lot of movement down, for teams in this area. What are you hearing?
Off the record stuff. Okay, yeah.
Well, it's all off the record.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
right. Yeah, you could possibly see Hanley going 3A again, which their last state championship was in 3A. Looking at Welborn, Pleasant Valley, which are already there, Hatchie, some of them going to 2A. What's scary for around here is what's going to be left in 3A and where they're going to send them.
Yeah.
Are they going to send them south? Are they going to, remember the old Randolph County, Weaver, Welborn, some of them people when they had that, and they were.
Daysville and.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's what Cleveland County has to go through all the time. Any hopes of Cleveland County trying to get back in 4A North may have a lot to do with what happens to Hanley, what happens to Tallahassee. Tallahassee's more than likely going back to 5. So now they're running out of teams. There's not a lot of 4A teams in that area anyway. So they may have to drop them. I don't think that Mumford's just sitting there on the cusp of where do we go. But they'll go before Cleveland County does. So, if you get 2 teams that one goes down, one goes up, they got to find 2 more, not get rid of 2. So I think Michael and them are pretty much stuck in the South. Now, they have transferred toward Birmingham before, but they got plenty of 4A schools over there. If you remember a couple years ago, everybody said, well, y'all went south. Yeah, they went south, but they were all together. Cherokee County, Anniston, all of them went south, and then they had to go south in the playoffs, basically. It was just like having around here playing each other, a couple of non-region games, but then in the playoffs they went south. That's where you get caught up. I mean, Look at when that's when Jacksonville was good. Remember, they ain't getting to play Montgomery Catholic. Well, if they'd been in the North, they'd have been good enough to be in the finals. Cherokee County's been in the finals 3 straight years in a row and got a chance for 4. And what do you go do? You go play against Jackson. Who's going to be as good this year? Maybe the best they've ever been, ever. And last year was 60-something points.
I know most of the media people down there seem to think Jackson can beat 5A and 6A teams.
Well, they can, because when they play Saraland and them, they're right there neck and neck with them. I mean, they are. So, that can happen. There's in 7A, you've got about 3 studs, and they get beat. I mean, Hoover's got it stuck on Parker, 6A, and then you've got, Clay Chalfel?
Clay Chalfel.
Beats Thompson. Beats Hoover. Hoover's not the same they used to be. They're not.
No.
They're not close. Because we're talking about elite, and the way when I look at elite, yes, they've got players. Thompson's got players. They get players in. I mean, you move one from Oregon, but they show when they go across the state line, and they compete. But if you look last year when Moody played Gainesville, got smacked pretty good. Gainesville got put out in the first round. And it wasn't close. That just tells you it's not better coaching. It's not so much better players. It's more of them. They've all got bigger schools.
Big schools.
I mean, Bowden sitting over there would be a 3A school over here. I mean, we wouldn't have any 1A, 2A, and 3A schools. They'd all be combined and made into 4 and 5A schools in Georgia over here. So that's why, people wonder, well, what's the difference in football? It's size. Size is what it comes down to. And money, because they pay a lot of money over there to be coaches.
Yeah, they sure do. What is the difference in the game today versus the last 2 or 3 years you coached? What's different?
Rules have made offenses be able to score more. That's what it's done. The lack of physicality in practice is made it even worse and worse. Same thing in college. You see a lot of missed tackles, but they're athletically so good that they can get a lot of people around the ball to make the tackle. Whereas in high school, you think, well, they're terrible tackling. They're not terrible tackling. They just can't get there. They're not fast enough. And then offenses have got so sophisticated. Coaches are doing such a good job with their offenses of putting you in one-on-one spaces, and you can't stop people one-on-one. That's why there's so much scoring going on. It is. And when you look at, 100, how do you score 100 points against somebody if you're not trying?
I don't know. I watched Coosa almost do it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but they were trying.
Yes, they were trying.
They were trying. So I just the offenses have gotten so sophisticated that defensively you got to be special to actually slow them down. If you get 3 stops in a game and you're pretty good on offense, you got a great chance to win. 3 stops. Yep. That's all. 3 stops. If you can get 3 stops in a game, then you win, because I would say the scoring, I don't even look at 1A, 2A, and 3A, because a lot of times they're having trouble scoring anyway. You're not going to have the whole team to 4 points. If you've kept a team under 300 yards of offense and under 21 to 24 points, you've done it. You've had a good night, real good night. And if you can score 28, so that's the offenses. To me, that's the difference. And defenses are getting better, trying to learn how. But I think on defenses, it's not so much scheme as they have to work harder in the offseason, becoming better athletes. And you may find out, look, in the region I'm in, it's not going to be as great offensively, so you got to take some of them better offensive players you got and put them on defense and let them be your stars in the secondary. And I think some defenses are starting to do that. They just put their stars over there on defense and shut you down and hope you can score.
Okay, I know you like a lot. I know you and almost every coach around here are buds in some kind of way. But I'm gonna ask you to look at a couple of games that are this Friday, and tell me what you think.
Okay.
Anniston and Cherokee County. We'll start there because that's where we're all going to be. What matters in that game?
Home field, and that it can Cherokee County line up and physically run the football at Anniston, because Anniston is a lot more physical up front than they have been the past couple of years. Home field advantage.
So pretty much the story on Cherokee County is pretty much like it has been the last few years. If you can stop them from running, you got a good chance.
Yeah, because it sets up the play action pass for them.
Right.
And do they have that star guy on the outside? And Anniston has gotten what Anniston is getting now is it used to always be, well, they got great athletes. Well, now they got great coached athletes. and they're starting to develop a program. I told him that the other night in our interview. You're developing a program now because I've been to watch practice. I've been on their sidelines. It's not mass chaos. It's not just a bunch of guys out there just playing. They actually know what they're doing, and he's done a good job with that. So it should be a great game. If I was betting or had to, I'd just say home field advantage.
Yeah, that close.
Yes, just like it was with them in Alexandria.
Yeah.
That's how close I think that their top three are.
Okay, Hoax Bluff and Alexandria.
Alexandria has a lot of skill on the outside, lots of skill. Can Alexandria find a way, since Hoax Bluff's best wide receiver and / probably their best DB is not playing the boys, hurt. If Alexandria can slow down the quarterback run and the quarterback counters and stuff, they've got a good chance to win.
All right, you get one.
Well, Oxford Pell City. That'd be the next most interesting game this week, I think.
I like both coaches, and I like both programs. I'm going to say that Oxford being there before gives them the advantage in a close game, because you can go into a game like that and be so hyped up that you already played a quarter before you even get there.
Well, what's the old saying? You got to lose one first before you can win one. And I to me, that's this game.
It's a statement game for Pell City. It's for them.
Yep.
And Oxford has to have it. You want to be at home. You know, when you start talking about being at home in the first round, a lot of times it's being at home and being second, because you're already looking at that bracket once it's set and you go, ooh, we're trying to avoid that team, because you're trying to just get better matchups when you come to the playoffs. You may say, well, we can't beat that team. Yeah, but we may not ever see them to the fourth round if we got a better matchup that we can actually go to. So.
All right, well, now we got to wind the clock back to finish this up.
Okay.
2001.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you win?
Why didn't we win?
Why didn't we win? I was there. I saw every play. I thought at halftime we were going to win it.
Well, again, I've already spoke about it. We had a great football team.
Absolutely.
And that group had not been in that position before. And UMS Wright had, and Coach had. That game right there came down to a play by the officials where we had a play that we picked up a fumble and run it back for a touchdown. They said there was too many people on the field, dead ball foul, this and that. And that would have allowed us to be up at halftime, and they had never been behind at halftime. So that was a big difference. And I'm going to tell you what, if we don't have the car wreck the next year, we win it. I'm telling you, we win it, because I lost 3 people. And, then we get beat in the semifinals by North Jackson. And then, we're talking about 3-0, and they scored there late because we were just going to have to try to block a kick. And Protho, was on cast out there. If you hadn't had that wreck, we'd have won it, because the next week, Mark Rose at North Jackson is up on UMS Wright 7-0 with 4 minutes to go in the game, and got the ball in their own 5 coming out and fumble and get beat.
It's a funny game.
It actually was 6-0, and they got beat 7-6.
Is Pro the best player you ever had?
Best skill player, offensive player, yes. Best kick returner I've ever seen. We had some, back when I was like defensive coordinator, I had Carlton Person that played at Alabama as a linebacker. He's one of the better defensive players. Todd Bates was a great defensive player. He's a co-defensive coordinator at Oklahoma now. Great man. You can't ask for no better than Todd Bates. He still texts me. He texted me the other night. He said, man, did you see them run the Sally? They didn't play us week. So we texted a little bit about plays and schemes and stuff, and keeping up with his nephew, because I watch him every once in a while practice.
All right, Coach, we're going to let you get back to your dinner.
I will.
It is always a joy to have you here.
I appreciate it, and like I said, if you y'all do a great job in watching big games around at FNN, and if you want scores and highlights and analysis,
it's after the game.
High school football, Alabama's after the
game. Absolutely.
Yes, that's it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get Coach Tyree in here and run some of the same stuff by him that we've just run by Coach Short. And then, of course, White Plains is still to come on the Tuesday night high school football coaches show.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Welcome to Calhoun County, Alabama, your natural attraction. We have invigorating outdoor activities, amazing cultural sites, mouth-watering food, and southern hospitality, all wrapped into one amazing vacation destination. Whether you're looking for a relaxing overnight getaway or for a one-of-a-kind escapade, Calhoun County boasts an incredible selection of outdoor recreational opportunities. Calhoun County is the natural attraction, centrally located between Atlanta and Birmingham, with plenty of fun and memories waiting to be made. Come to Calhoun County, Alabama, a natural attraction.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
All right, welcome back to the Tuesday Night High School Football Coaches Show. Here we're live from Top of the River in Anniston. Jim Jacobs, Joe Medley from EA Sports Today, and to my left, our next local media personality who I'm not even going to give Buckethead the credit of co-hosting your show.
No, please don't.
He's more there like a road obstacle.
Yeah, it's how do I keep this thing on the road with him being the one doing the show with me?
How to avoid being roadkill.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly.
That can happen easy with Buckethead.
Now, the crazy thing is we get to do it, and we do it all the time anyway, so it's fun hanging out with him, getting to spend that time with him, but at times I go, what is about to come out of his mouth, and we're about to both get fired.
And, of course, this is Chandler Tyree, the Oxford alum and football player there for a long time. I heard you would hit people.
I liked hitting people. In this day and age in high school football, it bothers me that there's not a whole lot of defense played on a normal, everyday occasion.
Is that rules, or is that just because the game seems to be tilted toward more points?
I think it's a little bit of the rules, but you also got offensive coaches like Clint Smith and some of the guys that we got in our area that are just really good at what they do. I mean, it's not 3 yards in a cloud of dust anymore. There's so much stuff that they throw at you, whether it's motion, pre-snap stuff, post-snap stuff, and then just the caliber of athletes and what they've been able to do. And you run one play and it looks like they're running this, but there's 3 or 4 different options off of that one play, and then they come back and hit you based off what they see on film later on in the ball game, based off how you played that. So I think technology, the coaching, and then some of the rule changes has definitely affected defenses.
Plus, with things so spread out, you got to cover the whole field.
Yeah, I mean, used to, it was 2 tight end wishbone or power eye or whatever. Now you got people spread out all across the field, and what used to be just a regular triple option, now we're reading the end, then we're reading an outside edge guy, and you're getting it out to a guy in space, and it's just essentially extended handoffs when you throw those, right. And then you got to try to tackle a guy that you couldn't tackle in a phone booth in space.
Tackle from a big play.
Yep.
What's it like doing a radio scoreboard show? Because, see, I know I did it for like 20-something years, but what's it like doing it today?
It's a lot of fun. Trying to get all the scores is very difficult. And then fielding the calls and making sure you get the scores out there, making sure you're talking about what people want to hear. And then, like I said already, making sure Dad don't say something that's going to get us both fired. We enjoy people calling in.
Do you have a kill switch on his mic?
We do not. We do not. It's
you need
very
one.
dangerous.
You need one.
Very dangerous. But it's all about the people, and the more the people are involved in it, the better the show's going to be. It gives us more to talk about. We want to hear people's questions. We want to talk about it. We enjoy high school football. It's not just something that we do. We actually enjoy high school football. High school football is probably my favorite. And I was joking with James earlier. Y'all make it very difficult to get out and go to a game now because I can hang out with my family on a Friday night and I can watch your game. I can put NFHS on. I can put Oxford if they're playing at home, and I can sit at home, spend time with my family. Then when I have to leave at about 9 o'clock to go get ready for the show, I've spent time with my family. I hadn't spent time away from them. So it's high school football's great, and with technology now, like you can go to games and then I can watch a game on my phone. So it's unbelievable. It's the best time of the year. It brings a lot of people together, and we may differ on what we believe and what we do, but football brings every walk of life together.
Absolutely.
He mentioned that you hit some people back in the day. I bet you were also a very dangerous chest bump.
I'm still a dangerous chest bump. I'm still a dangerous chest bump. Matter of fact, like I helped coach my kid's 8U team, and I chest bumped a little 8-year-old the other day, and he went tumbling. I was like, now I'm about to get fired from this on something I don't even get paid for. But yes, dangerous chest bump guy. Enjoy contact, and I still love football.
How much of that enthusiasm helps your show?
I think a lot, and I think Dad even brings more of it than I do. But I'm passionate about what I want to talk about, and I think high school football. Like I'm passionate when Dad says something about whether he gets to talking about something. I'm passionate about taking up for the coaches and the players in our area because I've been in that position. I know the kind of stress and anxiety that goes into coaching high school football. I know you're underpaid compared to what the hours and the time you actually spend. I know how hard the kids work in the off season and in the weight room and stuff. So I'm passionate about kind of taking up for them. Like I understand what they go through. And I will tell you this, there are some really good football coaches out there that don't win a lot of football games because of where they're at. And then there's a lot of bad football coaches out there that win a lot of games because of where they're at. Yeah, I mean, I'm just being straight but honest with you. I've been around. You go to these clinics and stuff, and you're like, I'm about to get something really good. And then this guy that's won 3 state championships gives you something that's more basic than what we're doing. And I'm like, that's the same stuff we do. But he's just got the Jimmies and the Joes to line up and get the job done. Like it's fun to watch these coaches that are grinding. Like it's fun right now watching Clint Smith turn around a White Plains program. And you say, well, they've competed in every game they've played in this year. And I know I'm kind of biased. My kid still goes to school there. I was out there for 4 years. But seeing them compete and seeing the way they're competing and seeing that culture really change has been super awesome to see from my perspective.
Jonathan Nix at Pleasant Valley, too.
Yeah, and Jonathan Nix. And here's what you don't understand. For the longest time, at the beginning of his tenure at Pleasant Valley, he struggled to have coaches. Like, he struggled to get coaches hired. And that was kind of from positions and stuff like that. But you're only as good as the staff you're able to put around you. And look at, I think that this turnaround at White Plains will happen faster than what people think because of the staff and him being able to put people that he trusts around him. Jonathan Nix, this is the first time I think he told me that he had all of his staff stay together, had no retention in his staff. It makes a difference. And then you look at even a Rico Jackson at Anniston, year number 3. He's been able to keep some key pieces on his staff. The guys that want to be there, the guys that want to work, he's starting to build in his culture. He walked into a hornet's nest because he walked into an Anniston that lost like 22 seniors on a 4A football team that went to the quarterfinals and had to kind of replace that and kind of build his culture for a bunch of young guys. And now look in year 3 where he's been able to build that culture. And look, I go back. I coached his brother was my DB's coach when I was the defensive coordinator at Mumford. So I knew the Jacksons way before he was at Anniston. And just the way he coaches football, the way he tries to instill integrity and character, and the way they're playing right now, I'm happy for him as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to be hard to handle.
Which I know you glad I'm talking about that because that's where y'all are going to be at on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably if not the biggest game in the state, certainly in the top 3.
I think so. I think this is a game that everybody probably had circled on their calendar. But is Cherokee County a shoe-in for a 1 or 2 seed? I mean, Alexandria is not your same mom and pop Alexandria that they've been. Cole Willer threw for over 400 yards 2 weeks ago. I mean, when have you ever heard of a Alexandria quarterback throwing for 400 yards in a game? It used to be wing tee, double wing, all that stuff, and they were running the option at you, and the quarterback was more deadly with his legs than he would his arm.
It was all downhill.
It was all downhill, baby. And but now they can kind of spread you out. They can do some different things. They played that Anniston-Alexandria game was an unbelievable ball game. So I think that it's going to be a good ball game, but I think Anniston-Cherokee County is going to be good. I think Cherokee County and Alexandria is going to be really good. There's going to be one team that's a really good ball team that's not going to be hosting a first-round playoff game.
For sure, no question. And, boy, just think about what it would be like to say, oh, we're in the playoffs, but we got Alexandria.
Yeah. We get to host a playoff game, but we got a Anniston or Alexandria or Cherokee County coming to see us.
Yep, it's tough. All right, let's talk about some teams and some games, but I'll start with this question: Who's on your hot sheet right now that you didn't even think about back in August?
Oh man. Probably Winterboro in Talladega County, and they're kind of carrying the banner for Talladega County right now.
They sure are.
They're about the only team that's really doing a whole lot, and I don't know why, but you just don't talk about them very much. Another team that's on my hot list that just got on my hot list that I'm kind of ashamed to say is Central High School of Clay County, and I think you just get so accustomed to them winning, and they don't always win pretty. They just win. That's what they do. That I really didn't know how good they were, but when they went and took care of business at Scottsboro like they did, I became more of a believer in them.
They had to be a Wildcat team for weeks.
Yeah.
Coach Short said that he actually thinks that it's a better than decent possibility that them and Moody could be at Protective.
That's not a bad – I really believe that because they both do things Moody – the thing I saw from Moody, and I will say this, and I know Coach Gaines has already told them this, when I watched them play Jacksonville, I thought that they've got to clean up some discipline stuff if they're going to get back to Protective Stadium. I just, and I'm not talking bad about nobody, but there was just too many penalties, too many self-inflicted wounds in that game for them to get back when they start playing the teams that they're going to have to play in the playoffs. So as the year goes along, they're going to have to really fix that.
Well, and see, I think that's a story for Anniston as well. I mean, Anniston did some things in the Alexandria game that probably should have gotten them beat.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This Anniston team, the ceiling is very high for them, and because they're winning football games right now, but they're still having way too many penalties and way too many stupid after-the-play stuff go on. They've got to clean that up. And I think I know Coach Jackson. They are a structure and order family. He's going to get that stuff fixed. And I believe if they can, and he can say, hey, it's got to be us. It's got to be we over me. And if they can do those things, they could be playing. And listen, I don't know if anybody in the state 1A through 5A really wants to see Jackson.
Nope.
I don't know if another 4A team wants to see Jackson. But I believe that Anniston has a real possibility to make it out of the North if they can get everything together. I mean, they play great defense. They have a playmaker at quarterback. They got weapons on offense. Their offensive line's probably as good as it's been since they went to the quarterfinals. I think they got a chance.
We had Rico here a few weeks ago, and I just stupidly said, I don't think anybody can beat Jackson. He corrected me very quickly. He thinks they've got a shot.
I'm glad him and those guys in that locker room, they need to believe that.
Yep,
and it don't matter what me and you or anybody else thinks. They need to believe that. I mean, here, and I can agree. My senior year, we didn't end up getting to go to the playoffs. We had an ineligible player, sore subject. But Prattville, that was when Prattville was going on their runs and they were just beating everybody. That was when Bill Clark was still there. And everybody in our locker room, we thought, we're going to get the job done. We're going to meet them in the state championship game, and we're going to beat them. So I don't expect them to think anything differently. But I know what I've seen on film, and I know who Jackson's got.
Yep.
And that's why I'm so high on them.
All right, we're going to finish up with this because we got to get to White Plains, starting with Coach Smith. Let's talk about Pell City and Oxford Friday. You're obviously close to the Oxford deal. This game has more meaning to it than this game has had in years.
I think, and here's the thing. There's a couple questions going in this game. Are we going to get the Mountain Brook version of Oxford, or are we going to get the Helena version of Oxford? Because if you get the Oxford team that played like they did against Helena, they're going to be tough to beat. If you get the Oxford team that plays like they did against Mountain Brook, then they can get beat by anybody in their region on any given night. And I truly believe that. And I love Oxford, but I think Pell City, I think Coach Gentry's doing a good job there. I think they're moving in the right direction as a program. I think they're starting to believe. And this game has implications. I mean, big. I mean, Pell City wins this football game, they got a chance to host a playoff game.
Yep.
Oxford needs to win this football game to kind of, right now,
stay in the hunt.
Stay in the hunt. Like right now, I mean, Oxford could be the 4th seed, or they could find themselves out if certain games, if Pell City was to beat Oxford, and then Pinson Valley beats Pell City, then you got yourself a mess for 3, 4, or 5. So Oxford needs to win this game to kind of make things a little less hairy on their end. But Pell City's got a lot to play for, too. Pell City also, this is a little jab from an Oxford grad, they hadn't beat Oxford since 2012. So they have that to play for as well. It's a big-time rivalry. I think they call it dislike week now because you can't say hate no more, but there's the Oxford hate week and Pell City hate week. They don't really like each other during this week. So I'm intrigued to see the matchup. I think Oxford, if they play like they did the other night, lean on their run game. They made some adjustments defensively that I like. They ran more 4-man front. They moved Keenan Britt back down with his hand in the dirt, him coming off the edge instead of trying to play him at linebacker. The adjustments they made defensively paid big-time dividends against Helena. So if they can continue to move that way defensively, lean on the run game, let your quarterback make a few wild plays for you. You got the best receiver around in Jalen Taylor, and I say that very lightly because Piedmont's got a very good receiver in its own self in Raleigh Pinto. And as long as he's there, they're going to be really good. We hadn't talked about them at all, but that kid can play.
Oh, absolutely.
He's probably the most underrated player in our entire area, and how colleges are not just knocking at the door to try to get him to come there, it's still beyond me. He's a winner. He does things the right way. I see him outside of the football field, and I see how he treats little kids and how he does things. He's a great role model. He's a good person. How they're not knocking down his door, I don't understand that. That's stupid. Like, let's go when there's a guy that's a winner that makes plays, let's go get him and make him a part of our program.
Well, if he does it at Jack State for his first year, somebody will come get him.
And I want him to stay at Jack State. I'm a Jack State grad. So, but Jalen Taylor can make plays for Oxford, but Pell City believes right now. So that's going to be a really good ball game, and I think there's a lot to play for.
All right, we got to move on. Let's plug the show real quick before we say goodbye to you tonight. Chandler Tyree is the sanity side of the fifth quarter scoreboard. The insanity side is his father, the Buckethead.
Hey, and the good thing about it is they can watch the FNN game.
Yep.
They can cut us on the radio, and then they can listen to Coach. They can watch Coach Short and them on social media, or they can tune into us on social media.
And you guys are on 95.1 The Mountain.
Yes, sir.
Every Friday. What time do you start?
We start at 10 o'clock. We'll go off at midnight.
Okay, so they're there for a couple of hours with all the scores and your phone calls. I call it old school scoreboard.
Yes, sir.
Because
that's what we want.
That's what they do. All right. Well, Chandler, thanks for coming. Good to see
Appreciate you.
And thanks for what you guys do.
Also, before you let me go, you're using media very, very loosely when you talk about me.
Well, definitely when I'm talking about your father.
Ain't no doubt.
We will be back with Clint Smith after this quick timeout here on the Friday Night Network, Tuesday night high school football coaches show.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Bama Sheds and Pole Barns. Locally and family owned with the best customer service. Custom built to fit your needs. with free delivery and setup. Design and price online or stop by and see what we can do for you. Nobody beats our prices and nobody beats our quality. Built in Alabama, made in Alabama. BamaSheds.com.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Top of the River. It's the Tuesday night high school football coaches show here on FNN. Jim Jacobs, Joe Medley from EA Sports Today, and we saved the best for last. The player of the week.
Maybe back in '94.
Coach Clint Smith joins us here after, what's it been like? I mean, just tell us, give us a feel of the move from where you were to where you are now. What's it been like for you?
Well, it's been great. It really has. It's one of those things where we get into it and we got great kids, that do everything we ask them to do and come to work every day and come with a good attitude most of the days. And so, the community has really rallied around us. The White Plains community supports their school and their kids, and they've been, outstanding with that. And so it's just been a lot of excitement. We've been able to do really good with our numbers and get our numbers up. The other night we dressed 67 kids for a junior high game, which is really good. And so, it's been great. It's been a great experience for me and my coaches, and just really love our kids and at all levels, and just been a really good experience.
We were talking before we went live here about you're wearing the black shirt, the black helmets this year. I see black jerseys. How much is that? How does that tie into what you're trying to change in terms of mindset there?
Yeah, it's just part of the process. It's just part of kind of putting our stamp on it and letting everybody know this is kind of how we're going to roll. And just really like the black helmet look. And when I got hired at Saks, we changed it to white helmets. And I did keep the gold at Jacksonville. I really liked the gold at Jacksonville, and so we just decided that we were going to go with the black helmets and have an alternate black uniform and all that. So the kids really like it and really enjoy that part of it.
What did you find when you started out at White Plains that basically said, I can do this?
Well, I mean,
besides the community, I think the community's maybe the best around.
Yes, no doubt. I think just a hunger, from kids, just wanting, to be successful, wanting to win, and buying into what we were trying to do. And like I've said before, it all goes back to relationships. Just building those relationships with kids, not just on the high school team, but also on the junior high team, and even the the kids in the school that don't even play. We've got a great band, great cheerleaders. We've got great support from all different people in the school, great administration, and so just being part of that, and them just buying in to what we were trying to get done.
Don't leave Chris out.
And Chris, yeah, Chris. Me and Chris are reunited. I tell you,
that's right. That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. He was the basketball coach at Trinity, and I was the football coach. And
I think you did better than he
did. And so here we are reunited after all this time.
That's got to be a lot of fun.
It is. We got a lot of memories. We've known each other a long time, and have coached together. Like I said, at Trinity, way back, when we were both a lot younger, and but Trinity was a great a great experience and a great place for both of us. Me being 21 years old and it forcing me to learn how to do things as a head coach at an early age. And, it really just helped, jumpstart my career. And, Larry Skinner was there for a while as the basketball coach, and he got hired at Sachs, and that's kind of how I got into Sachs and was there. And then, it's been kind of a full circle moment.
Chris likes to tell a story about when you all were there, about how he essentially fired himself as the football coach when he saw what he had in you. What do you remember about that? What's your side of that?
I think, Chris was the, kind of the AD there, and he was, they started a program, and he was the football coach for 1 year. And I went over there and started helping him. And when the season was over, he pretty much, said, "Hey, you want to be the football coach?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I'll be the football coach." And so, he I guess stepped down and just, concentrated on basketball. And, but he helped me, some as assistant coach, as I was there for 3 years. So it was a great ride, great experience. We had great kids. It was a lot of fun. You'd have thought we were, coaching the Dallas Cowboys at the time. I mean, I was 21 and loved every minute of it. So it was a great experience.
Doing what you're charged with doing now, how do you set goals? I mean, what kind of goals did you set for like this season and maybe next year and the year after? I mean, you got to have a plan.
Well, the plan's to make the playoffs each and every year. I mean, that's a goal that we have that, will never change. I mean, if you don't get in the playoffs, you don't have a chance to do anything else. And so, that's the goal, is to get in the playoffs. The goal is we've got into it this season. We had a stretch here where we had, 3 of the 4 probably the best teams in the region back to back to back. And, we were there with Hoax Bluff to the wire, actually had chances to win that game. With Alexandria, it was, second half got away from us a little bit. They had 3 onside kicks. We only ran 6 offensive plays the whole second half against Alexandria. In Cherokee County, we were up 8-6 in the second quarter, was down 20-11, I think, at halftime. And so, I see it in our kids' eyes. I see that, that they know that we can compete with some of the top teams in our region. And, those are the guys we've got to beat in order to get to the playoffs. And I think, I think they're starting to believe that and understanding that we can play with those teams. It's kind of with those teams, the way they play, the big physical teams, they kind of wore us down in the second half. So our depth's young. And so, we just got to continue to develop that depth. But, our expectations to win, our expectations to get in the playoffs. And I told them that's just the way it's going to be. And so, that's what we pump into them each and every day. Our kids work for that, and I think they believe that.
Given the trend line that you just laid out, how close are you to winning that game that a really bad picker like me would probably pick you all to lose that week? And what would it mean to get that win as far as going forward?
Well, I've told them, in order to win those type games in the end, you have to be in the end. You have to be in those games week in and week out with those type of teams. And then when you do take that step and you win one of them, it changes everything. The confidence level, the way that they expect to win those games, it just kind of transforms. I can remember each game that happened at Sachs and at Jacksonville that sent us over the edge into that place.
It's that signature win.
It's that signature win from the program of beating somebody that nobody thinks you can beat, and then things change. And our kids are confident. Our kids are going out and playing extremely hard, extremely well, and we are looking forward to that signature win at some point, and hopefully we can finish the year strong and get some good wins down the stretch.
Now, I said to myself when we knew you were coming that I was not going to bring this up, but I lied.
All right.
Have they given you keys to a lawnmower out there yet?
No. Well, they have not.
Well, I'm going to tell them now, don't. Make Chris cut the grass.
Well, Chris does cut the grass. So, if somebody runs over an expensive cable or something, it's Chris. It's not me. That was a long time ago, Jim.
I think that was the first
I believe
time
it was. I
we
believe
met.
I believe it was. 2005 or 6 probably.
It was well, it was a little later than that. I think we started in 11, and I think it was that season.
That's right. Yep. That's true.
But Clint basically turned some of our expensive fiber optic cable into a Vegematic deal.
Well, it was one of those things where I think we were out of school, and then I was going to cut the grass that morning. It was a little wet, so I let it dry, and I got up there, and the grass was high, so I couldn't see what, if anything was in it or not.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm just going to run down through here and cut it. And y'all were up there working at the press box.
Yeah.
Y'all wasn't down there where I was cutting, so I thought I was pretty safe. So, I just went down through there, and all of a sudden that thing stopped and just started shaking. I hit one of those big old cables. They were probably pretty expensive, I guess. And then I looked, and everybody had their hands on their head and was like, just looked like they were going to throw up.
We were.
But it turned out good. The broadcast was good, and it ended up great.
We
won that night, so it was a great night. It was a great night.
Did. All right, let me get you to talk about Crew just a few minutes.
Okay.
Tell us why he is what he is.
Well, Crew is an outstanding young man. He he got to start last year as a 10th grader, and I think that was really big for him, just being able to go out there as a 10th grader and get that experience on the field, the reps on the field. And so, coming into this year, his leadership skills, the way he's led, has been outstanding. He's very, very calm, cool-headed out there, and just does a really good job of leading our team on offense. And he gets better each and every week, and he's continuing to improve. Throwing the ball, he's an outstanding runner. And so, he's been able to do a lot of things running the football for us at quarterback. But, just his maturity level and just the way that he's progressing has been fun to watch. And he's only going to get better from here. He's just a junior
got him
this
another
year.
Yeah.
Just a junior this year. And so, we're always, looking for big things out of him as he continues to mature and continue to get more confidence get more comfortable in our offense. I mean, he's only, a couple months into what we're doing. And so, as he learns that more and is able to run that more, he's just going to get better and better. And he's a great young man. Can't say enough about his character and the way that he handles himself. And that's priority number one is just the way he is as a person. And so, just real happy with the progress he's made and the future that he has with us.
All right. If you stay put, we're going to take a break, get Crew in here and hand out the hardware, and then we'll get his players in here as well and let Coach Smith get back to his dinner here in just a couple of minutes when we continue on FNN.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Welcome back to Top of the River, Tuesday night high school football coaches show here on FNN. Jim Jacobs along with the coach of the Wildcats, Clint Smith, and to our immediate right here, the player of the week presented by Talladega Short Track. We're talking about Crew Martin. I got to tell you, man, you got a cool name for football. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, I can see that. I can hear that on like the CBS SEC game of the week.
Absolutely.
You know? Crew Martin, deep for 6. How's that sound?
Sounds pretty good.
sounds real good to me.
All right, talk about what it's been like this season with a new coaching staff coming in, a new attitude, things like that. How's it all rung with you and all the other kids at the school?
I feel like it took us a minute to get into it, but once we started believing in them, I feel like, and the work ethic we put in.
That's the best you got? Now, Coach said you didn't talk much. I hope you brought some teammates that'll talk.
They're a pretty quiet group.
All right.
They do their talking on the field. That's the way we like it.
All right, I hear you. Well, talk about playing quarterback. What's that like for you?
I feel like it helps me become a better person because I can help lead.
And he's a one sentence guy, right? How has he developed as a leader?
Well, you can look at him on the field, the way he carries himself, the way he conducts himself on the field. You can tell he's very level-headed out there, and doesn't get frustrated when things aren't going right, and he doesn't get too high when things are going good. And so he's very level-headed, very even-keeled the way he approaches the game, and right. I think that rubs off on his teammates and really helps his teammates to calm down when things may not be going well or whether they're going really good. And so I think they feed off a Crew with the way that he handles himself out there.
Coach, I can tell you now he's not going to get in trouble for running his mouth.
Well, he talks more than you think he does. I can promise you that.
All right, tell me this. You come from an athletic family. Of course, your dad was a coach. You have sisters that played stuff at White Plains. What's it like being in that kind of family environment? Is it pressure? Is it fun?
I feel like it's fun because you're always competing to be better than one another. And you always have people pushing you and supporting you behind you.
So now, I remember Callan playing basketball and softball. Do y'all compete at things? I mean, do y'all go out and shoot hoops or?
Not much anymore, but we used to always compete and stuff outside.
She beating you?
No.
Now you also play basketball, right?
Yes, sir.
For Coach Randall. What's the difference? I can't wait to ask this question. What's the difference between Chris and Clint?
The way they come at you.
Well, I have to offset Chris a little bit,
Chris is the only high school coach that I've ever seen get a technical foul during halftime. He's intense, isn't he?
He is, but I think it's good for us.
Well, you guys obviously do a lot of good things out there in basketball. And I have a feeling that it's coming in football. At least this guy says it is.
It is. It'll be coming. No doubt.
All right. Tell us about your friends that you brought with you that play with you on the team. Who's here tonight?
I brought Bryson Cheatwood. He's my receiver. And I brought Hudson. He's one of the O-linemen.
All right. Well, we're going to get them up here. We're going to let you go eat. Thank you for coming.
I appreciate it.
Always fun to have you.
Appreciate it.
Clint Smith, the White Plains Wildcats, will get his teammates in here for Crew. We'll also hand him the Player of the Week award. I think you've already touched it. They took pictures and stuff earlier, which is great. Congratulations on that really big game. 3 touchdowns?
Yes, sir.
We'll let James talk about that with you and your teammates. The big win against Horseshoe Bend this past Friday. And back to region play coming up this week. Was it Asheville?
It's
right?
Asheville, yep.
All right. Well, that's one you guys could win. So let's get it done. We will be right back for our final segment tonight of the Coaches Show coming up on FNN.
Welcome to Calhoun County, Alabama, your natural attraction. We have invigorating outdoor activities, amazing cultural sites, mouth-watering food, and southern hospitality, all wrapped into one amazing vacation destination. Whether you're looking for a relaxing overnight getaway or for a one-of-a-kind escapade, Calhoun County boasts an incredible selection of outdoor recreational opportunities. Calhoun County is the natural attraction, centrally located between Atlanta and Birmingham, with plenty of fun and memories waiting to be made. Come to Calhoun County, Alabama, a natural attraction.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
And the finish line in sight for us tonight here at Top of the River in Anniston, almost to the month of October, the most important month when it comes to the high school football season. A lot of big games coming up, and we close things out as far as our spotlight of the White Plains Wildcats. Of course, Crew Martin still on with us as far as our player of the week, courtesy of our friends at Talladega Short Track. Also, Bryson Cheatwood joins us, and Hudson Inglesby as part of the White Plains Wildcats. And Kurt, just kind of describe as far as your team's win this past Friday night against Horseshoe Bend.
I feel like it was a big win for us coming off a tough stretch of games and finally pulling out to get a little streak of wins going will help us.
Describe as far as Bryson Crew's performance, at least that you were able to notice this past Friday.
Last Friday's win, I mean, it starts the winning streak, and we need to win games, big games down the stretch. So, yeah, it's just a start.
What makes Crew such a good football player?
I mean, he's a leader. I mean, he's our quarterback, touches the ball every play, and I mean, he's just a vocal leader.
There you go, Hudson. Let's get you in, and give me one word to describe Crew as a football player.
He's really focused, I think, on his just the way he plays. He's focused when he goes into the play. He's focused throughout the play, and then he's ready for the next one.
And then for all three of you, beginning with Hudson, how big of a game back in region play, getting the month of October started, still with a lot of your goals, especially get in the postseason, still out there for you to grab. How important is this game against Asheville coming up Friday?
I think it's a big game. Just this week at Horseshoe Bend, just starting that just winning streak throughout, and then I hope we can carry that on throughout this week and the following weeks.
And then Bryson, kind of describe as far as just maybe some of the carryover coming off such a good win this past Friday, and especially coming in to a big game against an improving opponent that y'all have in Asheville.
I mean, it's a region game, so we really need to win it. Like I said, it just winning that game, I mean, will boost our confidence and help us down the stretch, like I said.
And then, Crew, what's the point of emphasis been as far as from Coach Smith and the coaches this week, as far as your game coming up?
Just start the back half of the season with a win and get a streak going to get us into the playoffs and see what we can do from week to week.
And then for Crew, as far as your teammates that you have on each side of you, Bryson and Hudson, what makes them such good teammates?
They always hold me to be my best, and they always lead us on the field and help encourage everybody.
We're almost to the finish line as far as tonight's edition of the FNN Coaches Show. And don't forget, we've got a big game coming up on Friday. This will be just a few minutes down the street from here, as far as our second trip to Lot Mosby Memorial Stadium this season, Cherokee County takes on Anniston for another important 4A Region 6 battle. A couple of undefeated teams in region play, and the Anniston Bulldogs, they still have, as far as their undefeated mark overall, that they're trying to keep at stake on Friday night. And, of course, our countdown to kickoff brought to you by Bama Sheds at 6:30 and 7 o'clock for that kickoff time for Cherokee County making the trip down to Anniston to take on the Anniston Bulldogs. A big thanks to the White Plains Wildcats, and once again, a big thanks as far as our Talladega Short Tracks Player of the Week this week in Crew Martin, and a good luck certainly to all three of you this week and coming up this Friday night. And there you see, as far as the rolling credits, a big thanks to all of our guests, Coach Michael Short, along with Chandler Tyree and Coach Clint Smith, and, of course, to Crew Hudson and Bryson for joining us this week. And once again, don't forget to join us this Friday as far as our big FNN high school football game of the week at Anniston. There you see all the folks that helped make tonight's show possible. So for Jim Jacobs and Joe Medley, James Hardy wishing you a great Tuesday evening as you have been watching the FNN Coaches Show from Top of the River here in Anniston.